Danny, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome back.
So a little bird tells me that during the Y Awards, you may have mentioned to some of the people in our production crew that you're aware of the BYU Sports Nation karma and how it has affected things positively. And then my producer, Ben Bagley, said that he discussed that with you on the phone when he was lining up this interview.
Yeah.
Is that why you're here? Are you using us, Daniel?
Absolutely. Using and abusing.
Please.
You should. That we want you to use us for
Well,
that.
I was thinking back. I think you guys had me on before I went to the combine, and then you had me on right before pro day. So
It worked out?
worked out.
Killed it.
Yeah. So killed it. You know.
Yeah.
Your
Third one.
combine performance was really off the charts. I mean, the 3-cone drill, the shuttle, a lot of people started to pay attention to you after your combine performance.
Let's specify that number again, just for those that don't remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
3-cone drill specifically, 6.47, the fifth fastest time since 06 at the combine of anybody ever. Third fastest white dude there, too. That's an observation. Have you been able to leverage that in any way to increase your stock, you think, since then?
Yeah, well, talking to coaches just from this period leading up to the draft, that's something that they've found to be impressive is, hey, we really like the way you can move and change direction and things like that. We like that in our system. You'd fit really well because that's what we're looking for. And so things like that, I think are piquing the interest of coaches. And so that's something that's good, and I didn't expect, but yeah.
What kind of optimism are you feeling as you approach the latter rounds now of the NFL draft that you're going to be a name called among the 268 players it is this year?
Yeah, so the draft is kind of crazy. It's something that you can't predict, but there are a few indicators that kind of help you and can kind of help you find out where you're going to go. I think 4 safeties being drafted in the first round last night is a huge indicator that teams are going after safeties, and they're going after them early.
Okay.
And so, you know, when some of those top safeties get picked up, other teams start scrambling. Shoot, we need to take another safety before they're off the board. And so seeing some of those things last night kind of helps me feel a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully a couple more get taken. We're hoping for at least 3 or 4 within these next 2 rounds. And that'll kind of leave it wide open, I think, between all the safeties that are available. And, you know, chances are pretty good with still.
Do you feel like you're a top 10 safety? Because I do. I'm looking at your combine performance. I mean, I do. That's my opinion. I feel like you're there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there are 10 other safeties that are better than you in this class.
Yeah. And it really just comes down to the team's needs. And is there 10 teams early that need safeties, and, you know, and what they're looking for, what kind of safety. And I feel like I kind of cover most categories. If you're looking for a big safety, free safety, somebody that can change direction and cover.
Special teams,
absolutely. So I feel like I'm a safe pick for any team that needs a solid safety that can come in and contribute. So I feel comfortable with that.
Daniel Sorensen is on BYU Sports Nation. Have you enjoyed this experience? A lot of guys talk about the grind of the draft. Are you having fun with this?
I am. I'm having a lot of fun. Me and my wife, we're having a blast.
Whitney's here in studio.
Yeah,
she's hanging out.
Hey, Whitney.
Going to Europe in July. She's going to be gone all of July, right?
All of July. So we're trying to spend as much time together as possible.
What's the name of the group? Whitney's International Folk Dance Team.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
So you're going to be in the middle of. You're going to be on a team somewhere. She's going to be gone for a month.
She'll be gone. And usually
there's
the couple weeks in July is when you have off, right before you report to training camp. So that'll be tough. No, but we're having a ton of fun. I mean, we get nervous and we get excited. And last night, I think I had to go outside during the middle of the draft to kind of release some, you know, energy and things like that. Called my brother and talked to him about a few things. So, yeah, it's exciting.
So you called your brother. What else did you do? Did you just, like, run sprints sporadically?
I wanted to.
Drill again.
Whitney could probably tell you I can't sit still for too long, you know. Could be ADD or just, you know, being anxious.
Or that's just it, yeah.
But, yeah, I have to be doing something constantly to kind of keep my mind off thinking about the draft and things like that. So it kind of drives her a little crazy, but
Daniel Sorensen
an
with
anxious
us
time.
on BYU Sports Nation. Do you have like a watch party scheduled for tonight and tomorrow? Like anything specifically you're doing? Or you're ordering
What do you want us
pizza?
to bring to that, by the way?
Yeah.
Chips, salsa,
Chips and drinks.
Okay, I'm on it.
Awesome.
No, so last night we recorded it at the Halford's house, and so we were able to watch it and kind of skip through. And tonight's my brother's birthday, so we're going to go out and celebrate with him and probably watch it wherever we're at, Wingnuts or Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. Whitney's a little nervous because she's like, if you get drafted tonight and I'm not there, I'm going to kick your butt. So I've been threatened several times. I'm not super, anticipating I'll get drafted tonight. But no, yeah, we're definitely planning on watching tonight and then all day tomorrow, the long haul. So
All right.
It starts to get even more interesting for BYU fans. I mean, today you hope Kyle goes in the second round. Probably not, like you said, probably not any other BYU Cougars, but maybe a couple on Saturday. Our poll question today is who will be the second BYU player taken in the NFL draft? Who do you think it's going to be after Van Noy?
I can't weigh in on that.
Why not?
All I can speak of is the BYU Sports Nation karma.
Okay.
So
That it will be good.
let that speak for itself.
Good answer.
You and Ethan, who was on the show yesterday, are trying to leverage that.
As much as possible.
Okay.
That's fair. I like
It's
the
a real
response.
thing,
I like
people.
the optimism. Daniel Sorensen, safety, special team standout, and NFL draft hopeful is on BYU Sports Nation. Of course, wants to hear his name called in one of the 7 rounds. Coverage resumes tonight on ESPN starting 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain. When you look at just the how vast this draft coverage has become and how much publicity goes into it, how do you not get overwhelmed personally when you see how many people are covering this and what goes into it and projections and all that stuff? How do you stay grounded?
Yeah, it's tough, especially when your mom retweets and posts everything about anything, anybody that posts anything with my name in it. So
Your mom's on Twitter?
yeah, and she tweets, and
What's
retweets.
your mom's handle?
Jerem's going to follow your mom on
See
Twitter.
what's going on here.
I'm actually not sure. Foxy Roxy or something. I don't know.
Foxy Roxy.
No, but no, it is tough. It is
I'm
difficult.
scared to look that up.
I try not to look too far into things. I obviously, check Twitter every now and then, and I'll take it for what it's worth. If my name's posted in something, and I'll look at it and be like, okay, that's great, but I'm not gonna invest too much of my interest into that. And it is tough because you have a lot of different opinions out there, good and bad, and so you can't let that affect you. And really, they're not the ones making decisions. So when all is said and done, it's just another opinion, and it's just their voice. And so what really matters is what the GM and the owner and the organizations think, and the scouts and things like that. So that's what you have to, put your monies into and things like that.
Daniel Sorensen is on BYU Sports Nation. Who has shown the most interest in you by having you work out with them and or calling you and talking to you?
Yeah, so I haven't had any private workouts, but I have had a few phone calls from coaches and from scouts and things like that.
Who are some of those teams?
I would say some of the teams that we've marked as interested are like the Texans, the Colts, the Eagles, the Cardinals, but they drafted a safety last night. So they're kind of off the board.
Interesting that you would bring up the Colts because Jeremy and I talked about this a few days ago. They have a really good punter, Pat McAfee, and it would be awesome if they had a really good gunner on special teams.
So I've had a few phone calls from the Colts actually talking specifically about special teams, and so I think they're definitely taking that into consideration. So that's something that we've highlighted as well, and think would be a good fit.
One of the best sound bites we've ever had on this show is asking you in the fall, do you get frustrated when you watch NFL games at their inability to field punts? And you said, yes, why don't they just catch it? I love that. It seems so simple.
It is.
You dominated this year at special teams. Do you think that your special teams ability, weighed up against just another safety of the same ability, will get you picked over a guy like that because you can play special?
Yeah, so I was explained this by a coach, actually. And he said if you get picked in the first 4 rounds, you're picked to play offense and defense. That you're going to come in and you're going to start or contribute, add depth. After that, 5th, 6th, 7th is special teams. The coaches now turn to the special teams coach and say, hey, who do you like? Because you're most likely coming in and you're not going to start, but you'll play on all 4 special teams. They'll carry 4 or 5 safeties on active roster and only 2 start. So that means those 2 or 3 other safeties, they're playing all 4 special teams, and they're playing every down of special teams. And so, yeah, that's when, that special teams abilities hopefully can leverage or outweigh with someone else, and the special teams coach says, hey, no, I really like this kid. I think he can come in and help our punt team. So let's take him, So definitely, I think that'll definitely help in my favor.
Daniel Sorensen, BYU safety, special teams all-star on BYU Sports Nation. Hoping to hear his name called over the next 2 days and get his shot in the NFL. You're going to get a shot. I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's this discussion of, well, do I want to get drafted late, or would I rather have the option of having 15 different teams call me a half an hour after the draft is over and going where I want to go, where I think I will be the best fit? Where do you lean in that whole conversation?
Yeah, so I've played this scenario out in my mind plenty of times. The last 2 months, thinking about this. So there's a few things to consider. If you get drafted, it could mean that a team really likes you, and that's why they're spending one of their picks on you to take you. It could also mean if the team drafts you, hey, we just need a safety, we need somebody to fit this role, let's just take the next one available. In that kind of situation, maybe the coaches don't love you as much, maybe you're just kind of there to fill a role, and maybe at some point they don't need you, and so they cut you or something like that. In that case, it is better to go a free agent where you can pick your team, you can see the depth chart and see where you fit in best, and with the coaches or the organization that you think will appreciate and use your abilities and things like that. So that's kind of the toss-up. Does a team really going after you because they really like you, or are they just trying to fill a spot?
Interesting.
So
yeah.
Those are things to consider.
Well, Daniel, we appreciate the time. You've worked hard. Hopefully your name gets said by somebody tomorrow. I don't think it's the commissioner. But we give you the BYU Sports Nation karma officially. And with this comes great responsibility, like Spider-Man's uncle said.
Yes.
But we want you to remember us when you're in the league. Will this happen?
Remember who got you there, Daniel.
This isn't the last time I'll be here. I'll say that.
Okay, very nice.
And I want to say one more other thing, that
Yeah.
you two, I really appreciate not only what you've done for me, but what you guys do for BYU Sports. I think you guys are awesome. I think you guys really care about the athletes, and you guys take good care of them. And
thank you. Hold on. Let's.
I don't know if I have any cash in my wallet.
You're not an NCAA athlete anymore.
Whitney, who should I make the check out to?
No, seriously though, you guys
Thank you.
do a great job.
We appreciate that.
Thanks. Daniel Sorensen on BYU Sports Nation. We wish you the best, my friend.
Thanks.